Hi everyone, this is Angelica. Thank you for watching. This video is going to be about Saturn in Scorpio. It's very intense. And I can remember Saturn's been in Scorpio for almost 2.5 years now. And I can totally remember me like researching what this aspect meant because I could feel it coming. Okay, I could feel this coming, but I wasn't ready to reach it yet. Kind of like I knew what I was in for, and so I felt I had better research it a little bit. And so I researched, what it meant. It wasn't just the aspect of Saturn in Scorpio all on its own. I mean, Scorpio being a very intense transformational energy of like completely regenerating, yourself. And then Saturn being very strict and disciplinary and not letting you get away with anything, like being like that strict father figure, making sure that you do these things right to make sure you get them for your own good. So it's very beneficial. And of course, after any Saturn transit, when Saturn moves through a whole sign and you get to the end of it, Saturn always bestows gifts upon you. So being that I'm speaking on a lot of my own experiences, I don't know where you have. I think I did a video a long time ago on where you have your Saturn. Where's Scorpio? Where is that for you in your chart? So for me, I have Scorpio is my 12th house because I'm a Sagittarius. So Saturn was moving into my 12th house and it scared me big time because I knew what it meant. Because what does the 12th house mean? 12th house represents everything in you that's hidden. All that deep, dark, emotional stuff that you don't want to look at, that you would rather keep under wraps because sometimes it feels too intense to like let it up. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to get anything past Saturn. Like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? And as I've gone deeper and deeper into myself and who I am, and every aspect of who I am, I realized, like, before it came, I couldn't feel the energy yet, but I was just like, this doesn't seem like a very happy, uplifting transit. And it has been so intense. So right when it moved in, it started. I could feel it immediately. And all of a sudden, like, I started feeling this overwhelming, like, um, just heavy. Okay, it's heavy, and it was in me. It was these things in me that I couldn't reach yet. And I'm okay. Like, it's okay. I didn't have to reach them yet. It wasn't my time, but it came up to the point where it was time. And shortly thereafter is when I started making these YouTube videos. So the whole experience of my journey on YouTube and all the emotional healing that I've done in the past, 2 years has been, it's been challenging, but it's been so beneficial, and I can feel it. I can feel myself as just becoming more and more whole and more who I am in my ups and my downs, and being able to show that to you guys in the best way that I knew how to. At the time has been so beyond like healing for me. So not only was Saturn, moving into the 12th house, but the fact that it was in Scorpio just made it all that much more intense. Now Saturn's going to be moving for everyone soon. So of course I'm going to make a Saturn video about Saturn moving into Sagittarius, which just happens to be my sign. So for the past, let's see, I think it's 28 to 30 years is how long it takes Saturn to move around the zodiac. So for anyone that's a Sagittarius, this is big because what the 12th house represents is the last and final stages, the death, the going within, the really, really going to that deepest level that you can possibly go, and getting out any last remnants of anything that's left so that you can start anew in the beginning of the new Saturn cycle when it's in your sign. So I feel it now too. Like I felt it, a few months before Saturn moved into my 12th house. I was like, uh-oh. And here I am now really contemplating Saturn and seeing the gifts that it's brought me. Obviously, the biggest gift hasn't arrived yet because Saturn leaves the gift after it leaves the house. But I can already see it and sense it. And I know that going into the first house, I will be completely ready and fully embodied in order to take my next journey. And I feel that that journey is going to be very big, and I've always known about it, and I just haven't quite been ready for it. And now being able to really be me and getting rid of the last stuff, and intensely feeling that 12th house stuff, whew, it has been a very intense situation. And it's like, I think it's the house that rules, I mean, I guess you could call it karma. So it's like anything you've ever done that hasn't been like right, or it all comes to fruition in the 12th house, like these things in Saturn, and Saturn's very karmic as well. And then Scorpio just being so transformative has really, really moved its way through me, and has changed me in so many ways. And I'm sure you can see just from like watching some of my earlier YouTube videos and where I am now. I've gone through this transformation in front of all of you, and it's been so wonderful that you have been there and supported me through this, and have been there to reflect things to me, been there. Your encouragement and your support has kept me going with all this Saturn stuff. And, it does depend on where you have Saturn, and certain Saturn transits are going to be easier than others. And I don't think, I mean, I'm 35, so obviously I've had Saturn in Scorpio before when I was really, really young. And yeah, that was intense too, probably. But now it's like a whole new cycle. It's a whole new cycle. So it's a whole new like beginning. And I'm just really grateful. I'm grateful for Saturn. I have a new respect for Saturn that I never had before. And me also in my chart, I have Saturn conjuncting my moon. So it's in a sense giving me this ability, even though I don't necessarily want it, to put this like Saturnine vibration on my emotions. So I've been somewhat, I could appear, I'm very loving because I have a lot of aspects that are very loving in my chart, but at the same time, there's certain things within me that I was never willing to reach. The moon representing the mother, and Saturn being that strict coldness and that discipline, keep it in check kind of vibration. So my feelings and my emotions have always, in a sense, been covered by this Saturn. This, like, it can appear in certain ways as coldness, even though no one else may see that. I definitely, through this last transit and from the friends that I've talked to about these things, and realized that a lot of those emotional things about me I've kept under wraps and kept kind of closed off. And anyway, healing those things. And I'm Saturn being like, just no matter what, get this done. You don't have a choice. You can't, Saturn doesn't let you like forget about like what's going on. You have to work through it. So I've worked through it. Obviously we're not at the end of the transit yet. We have a few more months here, but I just wanted to make this video about how grateful I am. The Scorpio vibration, I love it. The Pluto vibration, I love. The Saturn vibration, I love. And I love the 12th house. All these particular really intense aspects, I just, like I said, have a new respect for, a new love for. I've been through an intense Pluto transit. I've been through obviously intense Saturn transit, and the aspects in my chart that I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. Not a lot. I have a couple Scorpio aspects, but um, Saturn being conjunct my moon, so I have a lot going on with Saturn and Pluto, and these being the most difficult things to deal with in anyone's natal chart, or as far as transits go. If you have Saturn or Pluto in the mix there, you're definitely not in for a happy, joyous, harmonious ride. It's something that's going to make you intensely grow, oftentimes through not so easy means. Especially like with Pluto, if you don't listen, you get really, Pluto doesn't care. Pluto comes in and just like it rules Scorpio. And because I have my Venus in Scorpio, I have some Scorpio aspects. I'm really able to handle that intensity. I'm able to handle some of the deepest, darkest situations. But I've also got lots of Sag and Jupiter and Leo, and so I'm like, yay, happy, happy, happy. But underneath that, there's this huge current. So anyway, this whole Saturn thing for everyone. I mean, because collectively as a humanity, we've been dealing with Saturn and Scorpio. So it's been intense for all of us. We've all been going through, a deep regenerative, transformational, like energy. And so when Saturn moves to Sagittarius, it's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to have to look within those, obviously Sagittarius being a little more uplifting and optimistic, but, being Saturn, it's like maybe toning that down a little bit, or kind of looking really truly into like religions and like what they're all about. I mean, we had Pluto in Sagittarius for a long time until 2008. Pluto really destroyed and brought out a lot of the corruption in religion, right? So now we have Saturn moving into Sagittarius, which is going to, make us work with these issues again, but in a way where we have to actually maybe do the work and really, I mean, it's already there. We already see it, obviously. So the video is getting long, and I don't want to just talk about nothing forever. I love you guys, and if you want to share your Saturn in Scorpio experience under the video, I'd really love to hear about it. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.